What's up guys, it's Automotive Anonymous, and I do cool stuff like car reviews and 0 to 60s with the GPS. If you like my content, please consider liking, commenting, and subscribing to help the channel keep growing. Otherwise, we're gonna get right into it. Today, we have the 2023 Chevy Silverado RST, aka the Rally Sport Truck. That's like the street version, and it's pretty darn cool. This one was generously borrowed by Twin Falls Chevy in Southern Idaho. It's over $4,000 below MSRP, so I'm gonna link it below for you guys if anyone's interested. Otherwise, let's get right into it. We're gonna do a walk around, go through the specs, initial driving impressions, 0 to 60, and final thoughts to see if it's worth the time and the money of you and your family. But there's one thing we need to talk about before we get going any further. That's the aerodynamics. This thing has a functional cheese grater on the front if anyone's interested. With that out of the way, we can move on. These started in 2019, and Chevy sells about 500,000 of them a year between the 9 trim levels. The RST is trim level number 5. So it's pretty loaded the way this one sits. It's a crew cab with a short bed, so that bed is just under 6 feet long. MSRP would be about 60 grand. This one they're asking 56 for. With the RST, you have your choice of engines between the 3-liter diesel like I reviewed in the Trail Boss, the 5.3 in this one, or the 6.2 Ecotec as well. You of course have the rear bumper step and the USB exhaust outlets. With the trailer package, you get the 4 and the 7 pin connectors, which are pretty cool. Has a 323 rear axle ratio. From the bottom of the axle to the ground is about 7.9 inches, so it's not class leading for ground clearance, but it's the sport trim. It's not supposed to be. It gets about 16 city, 20 highway, so with a 24-gallon tank located right there on the driver's side, you can get about 480 miles of range on the highway excursion, which is pretty decent. Payload in the bed is about 2,000 pounds. Towing capacity is about 9,200. So quite capable for a 1500. Curb weight's a little bit over 5,000 pounds, and then as a whole, these are about 6.5 feet wide. I'm sorry, 6.5 feet tall, 7 feet wide, and 19 to 20 feet long depending on cab and bed configuration. It has a Wrangler all-terrain 275, 60, 20, and a steel wheel under the bed, which is a pretty cool feature. This one specifically has the Chevy Safety Assistance, which is all your adaptive cruise and IntelliBeam features, convenience pack, like the heated wheel, heated seats, remote start, the 120 volt outlet, stuff like that. Z71 in black because it has the Black Essentials package as well, and then that trailer package. But let's get into the car and out of the wind. Door panel, it's nice and big, soft touch materials, good stitching, it feels really comfortable. You can probably fit about 6 fingers in that handle. There's a little bit of a lip for you to grab. Of course, you have all your settings there. Basic speakers and really nice big storage space. You could probably fit a collapsible shovel, maybe a 20-ounce apple cider, a yogurt, an Oakley, maybe something like that. Then we have the running boards on the side. Nothing on the door sill plate other than just some nice aluminum, rubberized pedals, hood release, 4x4 and lighting options right there, and then cloth seats with a lot of power options. It has the 10-way power adjustment, and they're heated. They feel really good. We're gonna grab the handle and pull ourselves into this big truck. Fire it up with the push button start. A little bit of rumble out the exhaust. You can see the heads-up display flashing right there. It has 6 lights. It's for all the adaptive features like cruise control, pedestrian braking, stuff like that. Paddle shifters on the wheel, 12.3-inch screen, 13.4-inch screen. Really nice settings. You get the heated steering wheel right there, which is a fantastic feature. And then just nice shiny black or piano black type of trim around the dash with aluminum and some wood grain. Really cool. You have a number of your other features here that you'd expect to find that should be convenient and handy. Home button for the radio right there. We have our trailer brake. We have our manual physical buttons, heated seats for the backrest for the complete. Same thing over there. Everything's right where you want it to be. The fun shifter, park, you push it down to go into the others, like reverse or drive. You have to go push and go all the way up. When you do, you have a really nice big screen. Something cool about this is you can be driving down the road with the screen playing so you can see who's behind you and how close they are. We can get it back into park. And then we have a pretty good storage right here. It's rubber lined. You could fit a smartphone. You could fit, you know, probably about 2 pounds of Skittles down there if you want. You have nice cup holders, chrome lined. A few more spots for like pens and Post-its. And then wireless charging right there. And a really big center console with the lift tray Down here, you have an outlet, USB, USB, and a light. So quite a bit of room since you're not getting that 6th seat on the middle bench seat. Down there, up here, you have some OnStar options and lighting options. Let's sit behind ourselves and see how we fit in the back of the crew cab. Back here, again, you have really nice soft touch wide armrest. It would be very comfortable. Again, about a 5 or 6 finger wide handle, the wood trim, the handle, the lock, everything you want. You have the speaker, and then you have another spot for a bottle or maybe a small diameter jar of marmalade. And then maybe a box of Triscuits on its side would fit there perfectly. You still have the side step. And then cloth seats. These are nice. You can drop the headrest down. You can lift the back to have a nice flat floor if you want to have a wide TV, small refrigerator, whatever you want to fit back here. And then you have some of your tire changing equipment down there, the tools, and then the jack is under the 40 split seat. But sitting behind herself, the cabs of these are huge. You have a map pocket, so you can be a backseat driver. You could drink your drink, you could have your AC, and you could tell them where you want to be chauffeured to. I mentioned on another one, the back seat of this truck feels almost as big as some living rooms I've done home health in. So keep that in mind. This is a really nice place to be, and it would be very comfortable on a long road, I can only imagine. Getting around to the bed, you have the one touch lower, very nice feature. And then you have some 500-pound rated tie downs on all the corners. It's lined with kind of a plasticky composite on the actual tailgate, but this one doesn't have a bed liner installed yet. You do have the lighting package that you can access through the left of the steering wheel with those other lighting features. And 120 volt outlet, which is wonderful. You can have an electric griddle out here. You can have your toaster. You can really have whatever you want. To the other back door panel looks really good, basically identical to the driver's side. One map pocket, and then 5-star crash test rating, so we know backpack's going to be okay if something adverse were to happen. This is a Chevy truck, and this is America, so can you fit a shotgun if you're riding shotgun in the traditional sense? You probably could, because this is a really nice area to be. You have a lot of room sitting in here. You don't have power options, but you do have the cloth seats, and they are heated and they feel fantastic. You have the wood trim again. Lock and glove box is pretty darn big. And what's this? Second glove box. Check it out. That's for your bear spray. If you're going hiking, camping, whatever you want to do in the Chevy Silverado. Let's go around to the front. Let's see what it looks like under the hood. We want to see that Ecotec 3, that 5.3 liter. Pop the hood. Under the hood, we have a phenomenal powertrain. It's the 5.3 liter Ecotec 3, formerly known as the Vortec a few years back. They make 355 horse, 383 torque. It's all in the upper RPMs. It's a pushrod V8, very reliable, very simple, wonderful engine as a whole. And it's a pretty simple design too. You got the air filter, the ducting, the baffling to quiet it down, and it goes straight into the engine sitting right there. These are very compact little engines. They're easy to work on. Then you have your reservoirs, coolant, windshield washer, brake fluid, everything is right up top where you need it to be. You have the battery on the left side, easy to locate, easy to identify in that plastic cover. And then the alternator hiding off the serpentine belt in the front is 170 amp, easy to get to. These are mated to the 10-speed transmission that Ford and Chevy co-developed, and they have been a game changer for this engine. They've really woken it up and made it a lot more potent. With that said, let's drop the hood, take it for a drive. And we're gonna teleport inside. Go to our initial driving impressions and 0 to 60. Initial driving impressions are, it doesn't have to be a trail boss for you to feel like you're a boss. If you're not used to full-size trucks, it feels really cool to be this high off the ground. It is, there's quite a bit of body roll if you're not used to being in a truck, but if you are, this one being a little bit lighter in the low 5,000 ballpark, compared to what trucks used to be before they had all this aluminum and lighter weight components, even for still being a fully boxed frame, it handles pretty well. It feels pretty good for what it is. Visibility is phenomenal. You feel like you can see everything really well. You're looking down at a lot of other cars, and some single level houses don't feel that tall. The cab, of course, is just fantastic. It's a really comfortable place to be. Armrest, wonderful. I could imagine for a long drive, you're gonna feel pretty good in this. Chevy does a great job designing these because hundreds of thousands of people buy them a year, and they're going to listen to their customers. If they need to adjust things, it's a pretty proven platform. The layout is really nice by this point. You can see I have it on that reverse camera like I talked about earlier. I just think that's really neat. Center armrest being the width of a seat, about 20% the width of the front, you know, where it would be a bench seat otherwise. Really nice. Everything's right where you want it to be. Drinks are way out of the way for you and your passenger, and you can just easily get to stuff. The radio sounds decent. It's not the best I've been in, but it doesn't leave me wanting that much more, especially if you're in a truck, you're doing other truck stuff, you're gonna have a little bit of road noise, wind noise, other things gonna be kind of giving you white noise that help with the speaker quality. You don't get the sound of silence as much otherwise. The brakes feel great. Little bit of acceleration. I will mention the altitude here is about 4,000 feet, so on a good average day, naturally aspirated engines are down about 14% on power during the winter. With colder air, less humidity, things like that, power might be down only a few percent, or during the hot summer days, it could be as bad as 25% down on power. So this 5.3 liter with the 10 speed really feels quite potent. Let's maybe do like a 40 roll. We are going slightly uphill currently, but to show you how responsive it is and just how much it still pulls for a full-size truck. Drop a gear and go. Does a really good job. The sound is great. Of course, you could add an exhaust or an intake if you care for that, a powertrain tune, anything like that, but just keeping it stock, it's a really nice truck. It feels like it probably would do a pretty good job with its towing. Obviously, as you get closer to its max towing capacity, you might feel the weight of that a little bit more, but unloaded, feels really good. It's smooth with the long wheelbase that full-size trucks are. Show you a little bit of the braking. We'll maybe go half pedal. Engagement point is pretty close, and it does feel linear as you give it more brake. It meets your request. Well, let's get to our private road so we can do a 0 to 60. 0 to 60, we're gonna be in 4 high. Traction control's off. Density altitude's about 3,000 feet today, so we're only down on power about 10%. If we were in 2-wheel drive, anything over half throttle is pure burnout. So let's see what it can do. I'll post a GPS graph after, otherwise I'll verbalize what it does. 0 to 60 true time without the foot of rollout will be the bottom left of the graph, the way it would actually be rated by the magazine. It's likely to be 3 to 4 tenths faster than what I say. Here we go. For a full-size truck, that feels very powerful right off the line. And the time came in at 7.71 seconds. For our area on our private road, that's actually quite good to be that close to what it's actually rated at sea level in perfect conditions on a sticky track. Let's get to our final thoughts. Final thoughts of the 23 Silverado RST is this is one of the best ones to get. This package makes it look really good. It really looks menacing on the road, sitting in the parking lot, sitting in your garage if it fits, wherever it's going to be. These are a really good truck. They're very reliable, very bulletproof with those Ecotech engines. You also, though, could get the diesel, which gets great gas mileage, or the big boy 6.2 if you so desire. I've driven a number of those and they are absolutely worth the splurge if you can afford it. But otherwise, the 5.3 variations of it, you know, it's been around for over 20 years, and for a reason. It might not be the class leading engine, but it's the reliable one. It's the one that's going to last for 20 more years or longer, we can imagine. Today's truck market, vehicles are expensive. A lot of trucks now cost more than what an average person earns in a year, so you really have to weigh the option. Is it worth it for you? Is all the packages worth it for you? Would you get a lower trim level? Maybe even a higher trim level? Keep in mind, this one I'll post in the description below if you're interested in it or checking out the inventory at this dealer. And if you guys like my content, my video, please consider liking, commenting, and subscribing. It really helps the channel grow. We're having a lot of fun doing what we're doing, so we're not going to slow down. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.